G'day mates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I of course have to talk about TheGrefg's 2.4 million viewer stream, what that means for Twitch, but bigger yet for you and me, what that means for Fortnite. And when you compare that to competitive, because we had our first Cash Cup back today, we had NA East and NA West Cash Cup back to back, and when you compare the numbers, or when you just break down the numbers from today's Cash Cup compared to previous Cash Cups, or just previous days on Fortnite, you start to realize why maybe Fortnite is dropping the prize pool so much. So I want to talk about that, not saying that I agree with it, but it gives us a bit of an indicator about why the prize money is dropping so much, because some of these numbers are just ridiculous and I didn't really realize because I've never quite looked at it. I also just want to talk about the Cash Cups in general as well, because we had some big upsets from some big names, and we had some new teams like Booger, like Clicks, who proved that not only are they going to perform in the stacked lobbies, they're ready to pop off in Cash Cups as well. I'm going to assume you already know, or you were potentially watching because the entire community was, but today we had TheGrefg or TheGrefg pull over 2.4 million concurrent viewers on Twitch. He had over 2.4 million people watching him at one time when he was waiting to reveal his Icon Series skin in Fortnite. We've already had Lachlan, we've had Loserfruit, and now we have the third and final, which is TheGrefg. Now, 2.4 million viewers. If you don't follow Twitch or you don't understand how big of a deal that is, that number alone should just be insane to you. But the highest viewed Twitch stream ever in the history of Twitch is 1.13 million, and it was held for a CSGO major in Boston, which is one of the biggest Counter-Strike tournaments in history. TheGrefg pulled over 1.3 million on top of that, just a single guy in his room streaming himself reveal his skin in Fortnite. This is ridiculous, and it's insane for Fortnite, it's insane for Twitch, and it proves that Fortnite is going nowhere and it's such a big game still. It also proves how ridiculous the international communities are. I'm sorry, even as an English speaking Twitch streamer, I have to say, we get beat in every single metric. The Spanish community is just on a whole nother level. Most of the viewers at one point, I'm sure, were English, or a good chunk were, like myself. I had no idea what TheGrefg was saying, but honestly seems like such a genuinely wholesome dude. And as much as I want to go on and talk about what this means for competitive Fortnite, I just need to show you, in case you missed it, two moments for his stream that honestly made me choke up a little bit. I want to show you the first clip where he figured out that he was now the highest viewed stream ever on Twitch when he first surpassed 1.1 million. Let me show you that clip really quickly, because man, it's something wholesome. At that point, we were all freaking out. Everyone was like, oh my God, this guy has 1 million viewers. He's just broken the all-time view record. Little did we know it was just going to get so much more ridiculous. In the next 10 to 15 minutes, pretty much everyone was talking about it. If you went on Twitter, it was insane. Benji Fishy, Booger, Ninja, everyone was tweeting about it. It was mad wholesome seeing Grefg just fanboy out over Benji Fishy, Booger, and Ninja as if he wasn't currently the most viewed person ever on the platform. But it just kept growing. And let me show you the moment when he realized he peaked and beat over 2 million. I think his face at the end there just completely sums it up. Honestly, like I said, I don't speak Spanish. I didn't really know what TheGrefg was saying most of the time, but he seems like such a genuinely wholesome guy who I really couldn't see something better happening to a better person. He just seems so appreciative to everyone in Fortnite. It made me so happy. But in case you're curious about the skin, obviously that's what this was all for. The TheGrefg skin was announced, and I'll put some photos of it in a link in the description in case you somehow missed it. But also, I had to kind of get someone to translate this. I had to go look for the information myself. off because again, it was in Spanish, but the way you can win the skin, same as the previous Icon Series skins, and like Lachlan's Pickaxe tournament, there's going to be a tournament on January 14th and 15th. It's going to be the floor is lava LTM, and that's how you're going to be able to unlock the skin for free. Otherwise, you're able to buy the skin on January 16th, but I might cover that in a future video because we don't have a lot of details on the format. We just know the dates. So what I wanted to talk about next though was what this kind of means for Fortnite, especially competitive Fortnite, because Fortnite has just shown that they can pull 2.4 million viewers, the record on Twitch, by almost double for releasing a skin. And yet people like myself have been making the argument that competitive Fortnite is what keeps this game alive and drives viewership. And we finally had some cash cups today. We finally had tournaments start back up, and we have the lower prize pool. Viewership didn't go down. Viewership was the same as what it would have been last season, the season before, or the season before that. Viewership was pretty much exactly the same, even with the massively diminished prize pool. If anything, because of the massively diminished prize pool, you have more pros now playing in the tournament, making more content on it. So I want to kind of break down some numbers that really show and make me question how big of an impact competitive is having on Fortnite's viewership. I'm using the website Twitch Metrics, and you can check it out in the link in the description if you want to as well. But basically, if I look at the last Trio Cash Cup that we had that was on the 17th of November, like the last Champion Trio Cash Cup, on Twitch, Fortnite pulled an average of 105,000 viewers. If we look at today, because we had the tournament plus the Grefg's announcement, it had 183,000. This is pretty much the highest amount we've ever seen on Twitch, despite when you don't count the actual events, like obviously Marvel event and those ones that bring a bunch of people in. But if we just look at a normal day on Fortnite, right? A normal day with no tournament. If I just pick Friday, right? If I picked last Friday, we have 106,000. If I pick Saturday, it's 103,000. So Fortnite normally seems to sit around the high 90s to low 100 mark. So if we go way back to when those tournaments were on, like 105,000 is not that big of a deal. The tournaments don't actually bring a massive amount of average viewership to the Fortnite channel on Twitch as far as like eyes go on it. I know this isn't just the only metric because you obviously have to look at what players are being involved in, but if you just look from a content perspective and how many eyes get brought to Fortnite, unfortunately when we run these cash cups, it's not that much. If we look today, Clicks was the highest viewed streamer today during the tournament. He peaked around low 30,000s. That's not even slightly in the same ballpark as Grefg right now. But again, I know that was a skin reveal. I know people are going to get tilted, but even just a normal stream for Grefg, he's pulling over 100,000. That's triple clicks during a tournament. We have to start questioning how much impact these tournaments and competitive are actually having. But even then, when I'm talking about that, let's talk about the prize pool. Today's tournament, I do viewing parties for all of these. If you don't know, that is the main form of my content. I would say I'm more of a Twitch streamer than a YouTube, as much as I love making these videos. Today, I was pulling between 3,000 to 4,000 viewers concurrently on Twitch the entire day during the tournament. That's pretty average for me, maybe a little bit higher than I was during the last season's tournaments, just because I've been growing with the YouTube growth. Thank you for you guys who go and check out my Twitch channel. It does mean the world to me. But everyone else I was watching, all the pros, the viewership was pretty standard, despite the prize pool being so much lower than it has in previous tournaments. So Fortnite's proving that competitive maybe doesn't pull the viewership that we thought it did overall for the game of Fortnite, but even with a lower prize pool, the tournaments still pull the same numbers. So why would they put more money in it? At the same time though, like I said, I don't know how much we can look into this metric as the sole measure of how well Fortnite's going with competitive versus casual. Players playing, players spending money on skins. Maybe they support their favorite pros, so they buy their skins. I know there's a lot more that goes into it. And what I think will happen if the prize pool stays low, that will affect Fortnite, especially viewership and player base. More and more of the top pros will quit. You know, next week, let's say we have someone random quit. Bucky quits. The week after, it's Kanata, then it's Macwood, then it's Calc, then it's Booger, then it's Click, like maybe some big names. That will start to really slow down the momentum of competitive and will hurt viewership massively. Or maybe up and coming pros who are just hoping that maybe one day they get good enough to get a good chunk of prize pool. That's now been taken away. They stop playing, their friends stop playing. Like, I know it's going to have more of a knock-on effect, but as far as Fortnite right now, if they were looking at, hey, okay, we cut the prize money massively for this tournament, how did it affect us? Not at all. I, of course, really hope the prize pool goes up because I genuinely get more excited. My community gets more excited. I'm just trying to kind of get in my mind around and maybe help you guys understand what the decision-making process is here from Fortnite. I'm still holding out that they're kind of on the mindset that cash cups are a bit of fun, bit of easy cash, but FNCS and those tournaments where they're going to really put the big prize pool. So I'm still really holding out for that. I'm not getting my hopes too high because I don't want to get disappointed, but that's kind of what I'm secretly hoping for as well, because I love a big, exciting competitive with lots of prize money, people's lives being changed overnight, all that craziness. I'm just trying to get my head around why Fortnite might be making these decisions, because as much as everyone likes to think it, likes to say it, oh, Epic has no clue what they're doing and everyone makes all these jokes, at the end of the day, they do run $1 billion company. I really hope they're basing it on some kind of statistics or information that I don't have. I'm just trying to see what I can figure out for myself to make it make sense to me and hopefully you. If you somehow missed the tournaments, it was actually a lot of fun. The games were reasonably stacked. When I talk about lower prize pool affecting, viewership and player base, as far as the tournament quality goes, it was still a really good cash cup in most regards. The ended up result was kind of what I expected, but not really. We ended up having Twexy's team take out the win, which I don't think a lot of people saw coming, but we did have some big names that I've been predicting to do really well. We had Bucky, Kanata, and Macwood come in second, Slacks, Acorn, and Jack come in third. My underrated GOAT of 2020 popping off in trios now as well. Had some other names up there like Nosh, Keys, and Vaz. Nosh popping off now as well. And then we had some of the big names that we had big question marks on. You had Day, Clicks, and Riversun come in 8th on 187 points. Started off rough in the tournament, really brought it back, and they looked quite strong. The fact they didn't tilt and they stayed focused up was really good. Clicks didn't end stream, which is great for you guys like myself that love watching the tournaments. If he's off to a rough start and he doesn't end, that's a good sign going forward. We had some other new teams like Cypher, Blake, and Scoped Place coming 15th on 182 points. You had Mega, Eclipse, and Dubs. There were some big teams up there, but one thing worth mentioning, EU kind of dominated in this one. I didn't mention a previous video because it only got confirmed pretty much yesterday. These tournaments are no longer region locked. You can play as many as you want in different regions. The rule that was specifically in terms of service to say they were region locked has been removed. So many people play these tournaments in multiple regions today, and Epic made no statement. So it's safe to assume that that rule was pulled deliberately, and these are now unregion locked. One of the big names that we had kind of underperformed was we had Booger, Jamper, and Miro on 84th place on 160 points. Didn't do as good as they would have hoped. At the same time when I was watching, they had a few pop-off games. They had one game where they got over 30 eliminations like halfway through the tournament, so they showed they can do it, but maybe just lacking a little bit of that consistency. Alright guys, that does it for another video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry it was a little bit short on the competitive side. It was a great tournament. A lot of new teams popped off. A lot of old teams kind of came up and performed, but nothing super exciting to talk about. So I thought I'd take the chance to compare this casual versus competitive and what they bring to Fortnite. So if you like this kind of video, please chuck a like on it. Let me know in the comments section if you agree or do you not agree with my kind of assumption here that casual really is coming out on top over competitive with what it's bringing to Fortnite. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. It would mean the world to me. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.